All right, I want to thank you all for coming out for orientation today. I want you to know, first of all, that we believe in your potential and the possibilities that are within you. Our whole model is based on that you have something in you that is productive for our society and our community. We assume that. We know that not everyone coming in here believes that. But our guidelines are here to place stability and encouragement for you so that way you know what to expect and what we can expect from you. But know everything in here has come from not only staff, but also guest input. And every January we go through these guidelines and we make revisions to try to make them better. Your input is important. So if you have questions, concerns, after this orientation, I want you to bring those up and we will discuss those. So first of all, I just want to highlight our guidelines. If you are a shelter guest, you must show a photo ID within 14 days of arrival at the mission. This is so we know that you are who you say you are. Plus, number two, in order to get a job, to be able to rent places, oftentimes you need an ID, so we want to help you to do that. So you have 14 days to pull that off. As a guest, I choose to complete daily chores to include cleaning of your personal space. This means making your bed, putting your shoes neatly under your bed, putting everything into your locker, all those pieces. You're agreeing to this. You are choosing to do that if you want to live here. I choose to complete the one-week extension course by the end of the 7th day of my stay there. After complete extension requirement and all the other extension requirements on time. That first week, if you look at those classes, that one first week class, we have the goal setting, we have the faster scale, we have some other little pieces there, learning your story. That is so we know how to serve you better. So if you have a dream, we're going to help you move toward that dream. Whatever that is. But if you're not being honest with us, not telling us that whole story, we can't help you the right way. The faster scale is going to tell us the triggers. Those are the things that are going to trip you up. Those things that tend to cause you trouble. Now that was designed for addiction relapse prevention. But you know, it works in everyday life too. I have things on there, though I've beaten most of my addictions, I still have things on there that I circle, and my wife knows when Rich isn't eating right, we got some troubles, he's heading toward a relapse, whether that's alcohol or something else in my life, it points that out. So fill those out as honestly as you can. We want to know who you are that first week. So don't look at that as a mean task. You got 1 week to let us know who in the world you are so we can better serve you, all right? And then the rest of the extension classes, if you don't have a job, we want you to do those so that way you can progress and get better. All right, so the next one is I choose to attend dorm evaluation meetings nightly unless employment or GRM activity prevents me from attending. So you have on the calendar, you have things you are required to do, whether that's a chapel event or self-evaluation meetings in your dorms. Whenever those are scheduled, you need to be there and participate. So if you do a self-evaluation, you're evaluating a choice. We'll work you through that process, but self-examination is a key tool for life success. The more you evaluate your life, the better you can get. And so we encourage that, we push that. The chapel, all those things are all there to help you learn and grow, and it's true for all of us. All right, if I am on disability, I choose to sign up with DRS or develop an exit strategy. You need to be working toward getting back into the workforce. You can have a disability without being disabled. Disability does not mean you're disabled. There are plenty of people who have disabilities who are successful in life and do incredible things. So we want to encourage you to do that. All right, I choose to take a breathalyzer before any meal, and I choose to not bring any snacks or drinks to GRM. That is a change. You can no longer come here and bring food or drinks of any kind. If you buy something at the store down the street or over on this way, you have to eat it or drink it there. Do not bring it back to the mission. All right, expectations. The staff pledges themselves to do these things. To treat each person as an individual. To listen. To demonstrate love, which sometimes means speaking the truth in love. Staff will hold guests and other staff accountable for their choices. Staff will protect our guests. Staff will encourage positive life change through groups and classes. Staff will treat guests with respect. Staff will address issues effectively and quickly. Staff will provide a safe place to share concerns. Staff will provide for basic needs. And staff will be consistent enforcing the guidelines. Now we won't do that perfectly, We are striving, we make mistakes, but we're trying to do that as much as we possibly can. When we fall short, we have a format, we have forms around the mission you can fill out and present those to either the Director of Rescue, the women's director, or myself. And we will address those things as we can. Expectations of guests. Guests will attend small group, chapel, task meetings, self-evaluation meetings, or any other mandatory events as directed by staff. Guests will be willing and desirous to get a job. Guests will respect and be patient with each other. Guests will be drug and alcohol free during their mission stay. Guests will view mission services as God's gift, not as a right. Guests will be open to conversations about healthy relationships or habits. Guests will extend grace to other guests and staff. Guests will work toward completing any extension requirements. Guests will comply with all posted signs, and guests will not use profanity. Now, community standards. Safety. I choose to report all emergencies or incidents to staff immediately. I choose to not invite or bring anyone not staying at the mission on site. I choose to not participate in public displays of affection regardless of marital status. I choose to protect others' confidentiality. Do not talk about other guests to anyone, including anyone who comes looking for them at the mission. Direct any questions to staff. I choose to keep my children with me at all times, even to take out the garbage or have a quick smoke. If I choose to smoke, dip, or vape, I choose to only smoke in the designated area. I will clean up after myself. Health. I choose to practice good hygiene. Shower daily. Wash hands regularly and launder clothes and bedding regularly. I choose to alert staff to any contagious conditions or open wounds. I choose to stay out of other guest rooms and only sit or lie on my own bed. Okay, community living. If my children are with me, I choose to actively parent my children according to the standard of Christ-likeness. If my children are with me, I choose to not leave them with other guests on site. I choose to respect mission property and clean up after myself when using any of the facilities. I choose to not touch or borrow other guests' belongings. I choose to dress modestly every time I leave my room. I choose to participate in quiet time, which starts at 9:30 p.m. to include no electronics. The mission is not responsible for lost or stolen property. I choose to be at the mission from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. unless employment requires me to be out. I understand that I may watch the news in the lounge until 10:30, but must be in my bed no later than 10:30 p.m. Bless you. Then exit. I understand that when I leave the mission, I must be out for however long I stayed at GRM. Exceptions may be made at the discretion of the directors. I understand that drug and alcohol testing is performed here often, and a failed test or failure to test is reason to be exited. I understand that anyone asked to leave the mission may be required to meet with staff by appointment before applying for re-entry. I choose to only use GRM supplied linens during my stay here and will return them to GRM on my exit. I know some have personal blankets, that sort of thing, but this is the problem. Sometimes you have picked up some fleas or bed bugs or something, you bring that on site, that gets transferred to everybody else. Some things I don't want you to share, and that's one of those things. So we're asking you to only use our bedding and linens and then turn it back in at the end. I understand that any belongings left unattended at the mission for more than 48 hours will be collected as a donation. So that's after exit. These are reasons for an immediate exit. All that we have covered so far is a conversation. It does not mean to immediate exit. It means you are choosing to have a conversation around behaviors and issues. That's what you've heard so far. This last section is, we have got to have you out of here immediately. We can still have conversation. There is no thing that you could ever do that makes you permanently exited from this mission. Everyone has another chance in them. So I want to make sure you hear that. There is no permanent exits from this facility. But these are reasons why you would have to exit immediately. I choose to not assault anyone. I choose to not behave in a threatening manner. And this includes physical acts, verbal threats, or racist remarks. I choose to not possess weapons. I choose not to use or have possession of drugs, drug paraphernalia, or alcohol. I choose not to participate in any illegal activity. I understand that any behavior that presents a safety hazard to other guests and or staff may be a reason to be exited from GRM property immediately. That last one is there in case you do something that we haven't thought of that might be a safety hazard that all of a sudden, oh, that would have been a good one. I can't keep coming up with all those things. So if we determine it's unsafe, you would be exited. So go ahead and